Hello everybody, it's Debra from Queen Bee Studio, and today I'm here with a project share. I've been working on Halloween for the last couple of weeks in my spare time, and I've been really busy with work, so I apologize if I seem like I haven't been around much, but sometimes projects take a little longer than what you anticipate. So what I have here are some of the supplies that I used. I used the rosette die from Tim Holtz. I used this spellbinder die. I used Scrabble tiles that I have covered with paper, which I'm going to show you that paper too in just a sec. And I have used Annie Howe's Glamour Glaze on top, which I absolutely love this product. I seem to have better luck with this than I do glossy accents, even though, yes, I do use glossy accents. I think this is a great product. One of the reasons why is because I don't get a lot of bubbles. So, whoop, not sure how close up I can get this, but if you look, there's like no bubbles in there. And I always have that issue with the glossy accents. So this is pretty much my go-to product anymore. It's called Annie Howe's Glamour Glaze. She also makes one that is specific for inkjet prints. Now, for some reason, I don't seem to have that issue when I use either one of the products. So I actually just use the glaze more often, even though I'm running these through an inkjet printer. But if you did have a problem, then I would recommend the one specifically for the inkjet prints. And then the paper that I used, which I absolutely love this line, is Wicked Merchant Malvado from My Mind's Eye. And I'm sure you've all seen it by now, but it is just really cool, fun paper to play with. And then I've also used some spare parts, the bottle caps. I have tons of bottle caps, but I didn't feel like sitting here and painting them black and putting glaze on them. So I used their specific product. So the first thing I'd like to show you is my very first Tussie Mussie. And I'll move this out of the way. So this little baby is made from paper. I actually used a bonus tutorial with a couple of exceptions, and I'm going to talk about that. What I did was use a 12 by 12 sheet the way she shows. I folded it over to make my Tussie, and Bona actually shows where you clip a tiny attacher staple down here and also one at the top, but I didn't do that. I strictly glued, and it seems to be holding just fine. So what I started out with was using my Martha Stewart circle punch for the little doily that you see poking through, and I used her punch for the spider web garland, which I love that because it kind of looks like lace too. And another helpful hint that I have is if you want to try one of these and you want to hang things out the bottom, it's a lot easier to give yourself the room inside the Tussie Mussie and then close it up permanently with your strings already in there than it is to try to feed them up the bottom, because that's what I did on the first one that I did, and then I kind of got smart. So what I did was I fussy cut the witch out of the paper. Behind the witch is actually using one of the rosettes from the die that I made, except that I didn't close it up tight. I left it open and loose and mounted it on the back of the circle so it looks like fluted paper behind it. Behind that is actually just a circle that I cut from my circle punch. And then this last little piece on the edge here out of the orange colored paper is what I use the spellbinder die for. And I think it's this one that I used on there. So, and that just adds a little more interest. Now up at the top, I fussy cut this out of the paper, the Trick or Treat. And again, from Lisa's Altered Art with These Words, this particular sheet. And you can see I've been using it because I have more projects coming. Anyway, I cut out Don't Make Me Get the Flying Monkeys, and that just sits right here. You can tell this is a witch theme. Hopefully you can tell that anyway. Again, I used a bottle cap, and I punched out a figure, and I used my Glamour glaze to seal it down on one of my black bottle caps. And this time I used the bottle cap on the rosette, and I like that look. Behind there, these little black bulbs that you see sticking out, that's out of glitter paper, and what I actually used was a snowflake die for that. So that's kind of fun. Now, I took one of these Michael's hands that you can get, and I just added one hand to this particular one, and what I chose to do was add some gemstones to her fingers, and I thought that would be kind of fun. Again, just threaded some ribbon through with some twine, and at the top I had these rubber spiders that I also got from Michael's, and decided to add a little orange gemstone to the body just to make him show up a little more. Now when I rolled this paper, what I did was I did not like the idea that it was only single-sided and not double-sided, and the reason why is because I didn't want the inside to be white, number one, and number two, I felt that if there was some paper in there, extra paper in there, it would add and give it a little more strength, so that when I put the goodies that are going in here on the inside, that I wouldn't have to worry about the paper ripping. So I played with it, and the secret that I found to that was you start with the 12 by 12 paper for your Tussie Mussie, but I actually trimmed the black cardstock that I used on the inside down to 11 by 11, and then I started shaping it into the cone shape, slipped it into the Tussie Mussie. I did not cut anything up at the top. It's kind of hard to see right here, but all I did was add some rosette trim, and I think it turned out just fine. Now on the sides of this particular one, I hung a charm, and I had actually used as my basis, it was like a little rosary that Articakes makes. So I picked it up. I only used the skull from it for this one. I added some orange beads, and then I added this little sign which says beware 0 to witch in less than 60 seconds, which definitely is my friend's personality. And then I also added the Scrabble tiles on the sides. And that was pretty much that one. Now, my second one is from the same paper line, using pretty much the same products, but it's just a little bit different in what the embellishments are. So I'll share that with you again. Some of these products that I'm using are really, really old. For example, this Sizzix die, I don't know how old that is. It's from when they first started making the Sizzix, and the machine actually, you had to move the handle down in order to get the die to cut. How things have changed. And then the same with the little fence die. And I cut those out of glitter paper. Again, you can see a little bit of that snowflake poking through, but because it's in black glitter, it gives the color illusion, but doesn't really look like a snowflake. I fussy cut the Happy Halloween. I used the Tim Holtz die and used a lot of stickles around the edge of this particular paper. Added the bat. Down near the bottom is a spider, and you can see this is more trimmed down at the bottom. Around the top I used some trim from Hobby Lobby along with this black gemstone trim, which I thought was kind of cool. Now, Bona, in her tutorial for making these cones, and I'm going to show you, or rather, I'm going to put the link below, used some hands coming out of the Tussie Mussie, and I thought it was such a cute idea. And because this one's kind of the zombie theme, I thought it would look really cute popping out of there. And up at the top, you can see that the image that I chose is the little zombie. And again, that's a rosette die that I cut out of Halloween paper, and I set it on a scalloped die that I punched from one of my punches. Now her chain is the rest of that rosary along with the handcuffs at the bottom. And then I added a cork to hers, a cork charm. So you can see there's a cute little Ouija board and Boo, and there's some beads on here that I strung. Now on this cork charm, I left it pretty simple, and I just added some of the same trim from the top up here, and this says, you know, poison on it, and then it says, give me some candy and no one gets hurt, which is definitely this friend. She loves her candy. So those are my Halloween Tussie Mussies. I hope you like them. Comments are always appreciated. And thanks for watching, everyone. Until next time, I'll be back again real soon with more Halloween. Thanks. Bye.